Which 2025 hybrid is going to be better? We're showcasing the Honda Civic Hatchback Sport Touring in Meteorite Gray Metallic versus the Honda Accord Hybrid Touring in Platinum White over Gray. 4 horsepower difference, 15 pound-feet of torque difference, nearly 11 inches difference in length. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rods, and I'm going to go over the differences between the two of these to see which one is better, starting with the Civic. LED headlights, daytime runnings. It integrates into honeycomb design grille. The Honda badging comes forward. The lower will get the matte black front parking sensors, and you're going to have the same layout when it comes into the Accord with the LED headlights and daytime runnings, but it's a larger front. You can already see that with the width. The grille is different, styling more like a European fastback, and I appreciate that because when I'm looking at pricing, I'm getting a discount, plus I'm getting better MPGs because these are both hybrid variants. But which one's better? Underneath the hood is going to change the configuration. 2.0 liter, 4-cylinder is underneath the Civic Hatch. That's producing 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque paired to an eCVT transmission, achieving 50 MPGs for the city, 45 MPGs for the highway, and that horsepower is one of the best in class. I mean, when you're thinking about a Civic, you start thinking of an SI when you're getting that much performance, but now you're sipping on fuel. But is it better than the Accord? That has the 2.0 liter, 4-cylinder, producing 204 horsepower with 247 pound-feet of torque paired to the same eCVT transmission, achieving 46 MPGs for the city, 41 MPGs for the highway. So it's 4 MPGs difference, but you're gonna have a longer vehicle, a wider vehicle, and you have more power underneath the hood. But does that make it better than the hatchback? I like the styling of the hatchback. It takes it to that European essence. Both two vehicles do that. You're getting 18-inch wheels. This is the shark gray integrated turn signal on the side view mirror, and they're gonna have black caps because this is the sport touring trim. But did Honda mess up? Because it's around $6,000, $7,000 difference in price. I'm getting better MPGs here, and in theory, I'm getting better performance because this is a smaller vehicle. But I can't disqualify the Accord because the styling that they did with the updates a few years back, I think they just nailed it. 19-inch wheels, you'll have the integrated turn signal on the side, the fastback design, so it kind of still has that slope roof line, which is what people like for the hatchback, but you're getting it in a sedan. So for visibility purposes, you're gonna be fine with both because the rear will have large windows. You have 3 windows on the side. Both will have LED taillights, but I like the way the Accord's done it with the Honda badging in the back because it goes back to the heritage of the original Accord. Both will have front and rear parking sensors with a reverse camera. Going into the hatch, you're gonna have the diffuser. It's gonna look sporty. And hatchbacks, they're usually my favorite when I'm competing against a sedan because you get more cargo capacity. But in this case, it's tough because the Accord has a fastback design. So in theory, it looks like a hatchback because of that. So which one is better? I would probably go for the Civic Hatch because of the discounted price. You're getting better MPGs, 4 horsepower more, 15 pound-feet of torque more. It's not going to change the game for me. And on top of that, this is smaller, it's not as wide, making it easier for maneuverability in the everyday. But let me know which way you would go in the comments. Would you go sedan or hatch? On the Accord, quick release going to 16.7 cubic feet of storage. You get bag holders here on both sides. Underneath the floor, we'll get some storage. Pull these tabs here, and it's gonna split fold the rear bench at a 40-60 split to maximize the cargo capacity to the Accord. The Civic Hatch, quick release, going into 24.5 cubic feet of storage. You can move this privacy cover here. Underneath the floor, get some storage. And to split fold the rear bench, it's a hatchback, so I can do so in the back. I'm at 6'3". It's gonna be a little bit heavy on the seats, but it folds down nice and flat. It's going to maximize the cargo capacity to the Civic Hatch. The Accord Hybrid Touring Key Fob. Going into 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 4-way for the passenger, leather front seats and rear seats, heated ventilated seats, memory for the driver. The Honda welcoming. The major difference that you're going to notice right off the bat is this screen is going to be bigger. The interior here is going to be different in the hatchback, and this is a 9-inch infotainment screen. Both will have the 12 speakers through Bose, and they will also have leather interior, 10-way power seat adjustment for the hatchback, heated front seats, 4-way for the passenger. But in the Accord, it's going to be a little bit wider and longer in a 12.3 informational display. But will that be enough to make the Accord better? Let's fire it up. Heads-up display, LED interior lights, 12-inch infotainment screen with Google Play, Google Assist, Google Maps, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth, audio, Wi-Fi, hotspot, Honda Link, Amazon built in. And for the Sirius XM, you will have to go through the app. You still get a physical button. Put it into reverse, you get a reverse camera. The trajectory will expand out, and it will also zoom in. With dual climate control settings, USB port, wireless charging pad, glossy black around everything here. Driving mode select, you got 3 total driving modes plus individual. When you click over here, you can change that out to make it a little bit more sporty or normal. A 10.2 informational display. Can go through an array of different content for the driver. It's also customizable on both sides. And you can also change the whole display layout of the gauge cluster here by going into the gauge design. So we have it on the round, you can put it on the bar, round minimal, bar minimal, or minimal now because it scrolls pretty quick. And this is going to be the same that's on the Civic Hatchback Hybrid. Leather wrap steering wheel, heated, multi-function, with the paddle shifts for the regenerative braking. This is also leather, soft to touch, opens up into a deep storage pocket with a 12-volt brake hold, which means you don't have to hold the brake. Once you come to a stop, you can release and the vehicle will hold itself for you. Headroom is more than enough, and you already saw legroom with a moonroof. The hatchback will also have a moonroof with the LED interior lights. Let's fire it up. Nine-inch infotainment screen, Google Play, Google Assist, Google Maps, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly, Sirius XM, yet again, the same thing. You'll have to use the Honda Link, Amazon built-in, Wi-Fi hotspot, and Honda Link, like we already said. The same thing for the reverse camera. The trajectory will expand and you can change the layout, dual climate control settings, wireless charging pad, USB-C port, 12-volt, leather around the shifter and the steering wheel. Sporty opens up into a deeper storage pocket, but no 12-volt. You still have the brake hold and the driver mode select, which adds the individual mode when you go into the sport touring, and you have the same thing. It's customizable here. We get the sport pedals, the leg space is more than efficient. Same thing with headroom. Door panel and dash configuring together. You're gonna have the glossy black, soft where you rest your arms, one touch up and down for the windows, and about a medium-sized storage pocket. For the Accord, you're gonna have basically the same size storage pocket, but the door is gonna be a little bit longer, one touch up and down for the windows, and you'll get this little stripe of black. For the back seats of the Accord, this is the opening that you have. The door is gonna start off with a heated rear seat button. Soft to touch here, but a smaller storage pocket. 2 USB-C ports, air vents, armrests with cup holders, storage behind the passenger seat, leg room, it's sufficient. Headroom, it's carved out, but if I move forward or you hit the brake too hard, it looks like I'm headbanging. LED interior lights come into play. Sliding into the center, the floor isn't flat. You're not really sharing any feet, butt, leg, and shoulder space. This is where the Accord is better because you're gonna have more room in the back. But headroom, it does start lacking because the middle seat sits upwards, whereas the Civic doesn't have that. And even though it's a hatch, you actually have about an inch more of headroom. Now, legroom is gonna be a little bit tight, especially knee space here, and you're gonna be sharing more feet, butt, leg, and shoulder space. You get the same storage. You don't get any charging ports. No air vents, you get the cup holders and armrests. Pretty much the same thing with leg room. I mean, you're losing maybe an inch-ish there, but headroom is actually a little bit better because look how much more forward I can go. Door panel is going to have the same materials found in the front, and I appreciate that. The gloss black, you get that racy pattern, soft to touch, and the same storage pocket that's in the Accord, and that's the opening that you have to go in the hatch. Taking the Civic Hybrid hatch out first with 4 horsepower less than the Accord, 15 pound-feet of torque less, but you're still getting 200 horsepower, which is pretty awesome. Great MPGs. Now, I have read in a lot of the forums, whenever you buy these hybrids from Honda, sometimes at Toyota also, you will not be getting the same MPGs that they are stating on the MSRP. It has to get used to the way you're driving. So you have to drive it a little bit and then you will start getting better MPGs. So at the beginning, don't expect to get these awesome numbers right off the bat. Sadly, that's just not gonna happen. And check out the power. I always enjoy the hatchback because you sit lower to the ground, it feels sporty. You get a kind of cool exhaust note that filters in. I know it's a drone sound because it's a 4-cylinder, but it's still, at least you're getting something. Not a huge fan of this infotainment screen that comes out of the dash though, and it's 9 inches, which is an eyesore, and that's gonna take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is because this generation is just a little bit bigger, it carves out a lot more space in the interior. It's just a little bit more cleaned up in the sense of going Civic. You're under 35 grand, you're getting great MPGs, it's really hard to get all of that blended in as a total package, and this is fully loaded. So you can get it under $30,000 is where I'm getting at. Now on the cons, I'm not a huge fan of that screen. You don't get any charging ports in the back, you don't get any vents in the back. They do lack on the soft materials. They literally only put it where you really are going to use it, like where you're resting your arms. You don't have any manual cushion extensions, and the cushion itself isn't that long, so my legs are kind of, or my knees are kind of sitting up into the air where it makes it uncomfortable for a longer drive. Yes, I can kind of sort of relax them on the side pillar or the door card, but just extend the seat a little bit more so. No options for ventilated seats for the front, only heated front seats, but then in the pricing, I guess I can understand that. You get the Bose upgraded sound system, you don't get a heads-up display. I like that they didn't go crazy with the wheel design, but because it's a hybrid, I would be okay with even going to a 17-inch wheel. I like the Google interface, Amazon Alexa, wireless connectivity, dual climate control settings. It's literally ticking the box for every single piece of value, but is it better than the Accord? Now the Accord Touring Hybrid with 204 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque. It feels longer, it feels wider. I got ventilated seats, so I'm a little bit happier. Heads-up display, so it makes it a little bit easier there. But because of the pricing being what it is, which one is better? We're gonna give her a little go here. Sit up just a touch higher here. The fastback design, you can feel it because it's still going to be a little bit lower of a drive. Toyota, you sit up just a little bit higher. That being said, headroom is about the same. I got about 3-ish inches before I hit the headliner. So if you're considering those two aspects, you can be good on either and just get the savings and go into the Civic. But here it's going to be wider in the interior. The seat cushion is going to be the same though. It doesn't come out enough where my knees are kind of up in the air. It's more of a flat seat too. It does feel a little bit more comfortable, and this was reworked whenever they did the refresh to the vehicle. Maneuverability, steering is light, and that's in both of them. Just you'll feel the presence of the width in the length. It's gonna take me to some pros and cons on the Accord. The pros is you're getting ventilated seats, charging ports in the back, air vents in the back. It's a little bit more functional for a family. And because it's wider, naturally, the interior, you're gonna have more room. But cargo, it's gonna be better in the hatch. It's a red light, guys. I don't know what they're, I guess he's gonna race. Maybe not. Visibility is good in both, but because you do sit lower in both vehicles, in the competition, it can be a little bit better because you're not sitting as low. Quiet in the interior, upgraded sound system, These are definitely all reasons why I would take the box for it. But because of that savings, and I just can't see a $6,000 to $7,000 value on the few things that you capture, considering you're getting better MPGs going to the hatch, you're getting a lot of room in the interior and a lot of standard features. So I would take the box to the hatch, but let me know which way you would go in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here. And I'd like to thank our friends here at Ocean Honda.